Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of Renton Reflects. Filmmaker Frank Capra may be best recognized for having directed the classic film It's a Wonderful Life, but there are a few other films he directed that may not be talked about as much as It's a Wonderful Life, but still possess the power to resonate even to this very day. This movie is definitely one of those cases. It starts off with a newspaper columnist named Anne, who had just been let go from her job due to changes in management. For her final column, she decides to write a fake letter under the fake name John Doe. In this letter, John plans to jump off the roof of City Hall at midnight on Christmas Eve as an act of rebellion against society's ills. This letter catches the attention of the newspaper's readers, and this attention escalates even further when Anne is rehired back to select a homeless man to portray the fictional John Doe, so that he could give radio speeches written by Anne about being a good neighbor. This results in the establishment of a social movement where numerous John Doe clubs start to appear all over the United States. Conflict does come into play when such things as artful manipulation, rampant corruption, and corporate greed start to get in the way of the social movement. The question that remains is, would all of America ever find out the truth behind the fake letter? Without going into spoiler territory, there isn't much that I can say about this film, other than that the premise itself and how it's fleshed out is really good. There may be a couple of scenes that were played out a little fast and a couple of scenes that were played out a little slow, but its intentions in carrying out its message about being a good neighbor are still well and good. It just goes to show how one person can make a significant difference to everyone around them, even in ways we can't exactly imagine. There are certain ideas featured in it that are timeless and relevant enough for audiences to take away from, like the term helot, which is explained in detail in the story. It's also interesting how it incorporated a few biblical references in a very subtle fashion. The message it brings out ought to be accessible to all of the John Does and the Jane Does out there. Speaking of accessibility, seeing how this film is now in the public domain, you can find it just about anywhere, even on YouTube. Check it out and see what makes it an underrated classic to come from the mind of Frank Capra. On a scale between 1 and 10, I give this film an 8. And that concludes my review. Thank you for watching and have yourself a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and a Happy New Year. See ya in 2026.